Welcome back to the series of the conditions that we need to fulfill in order to have a better prayer life according to St. Teresa of Jesus. We had gone already through love one another and through detachment, and we are beginning our humility part of this condition that St. Teresa says that it is the most difficult to achieve, especially when you have a certain pride in who you are or in what you have accomplished in life. We are going to see how we struggle at times in order to achieve this humility. Last time that we met, we went through Mary, St. Peter, and St. Paul as three of our examples for humility and how humility was achieved by some of them in some cases. And today we are going to see a little bit on the life of St. Therese and St. Teresa of Calcutta. St. Therese went through a journey that very few of us go. And it was a journey of becoming little. She really wanted to be as much as possible for the Lord without shining, just to pass through life without being noticed, which some of us do not know how to go through life without wanting to be famous or wanting to be achievers. St. Therese, no, St. Therese wanted to be just, that's why they call her the little flower. She just wanted to be a flower in the garden of the Lord, but without calling attention to anyone. So she had a disposition to be humble, and her life, the autobiography, is very interesting, especially if you are a person that humility is not your strong virtue. It is a good book to read in order to help us to achieve that type of humility. Teresa of Calcutta has one episode in her life that to me it's very outstanding. I don't know if you know her background, that she entered into a religious congregation that was for wealthy people. Through education. So she went to India from Albania, where she was born. She went to India with this congregation in order to be able to teach children, young women that were of certain privilege. And it was just walking through the streets that she began seeing people dying on the streets without anybody paying attention to them. And she felt her call. This is so important in our lives, that we find our own calling, that the Lord speaks to us in our hearts in order to let us know what to do with our lives. And she found her calling in getting these dying people from the streets and bringing them to a safe place where to die. That was the beginnings of her congregation. But this was especially in communion with Jesus. Jesus would talk to her heart and would tell her what to do, and would tell her how to follow and how to begin doing this that he was calling her to do. After she finished founding the congregation and everything was in order, according to her spiritual director, she never again in her life heard the voice of Jesus. She walked in darkness the rest of her life. And you would not have known, you would not have noticed, because she was always smiling, she was always filled with energy. She never heard the voice of God again in her heart. So she walked blindly. And this is a good example for us, because this is the way that most of us walk. Trying to do God's will, just trying to follow what it's in our hearts that we think that the Lord wants from us, but many, many times not feeling Him, not hearing Him, just in darkness. So Teresa of Calcutta is a good example of humility, how she could accept these blessings that God would send her, this speaking to her so closely, and suddenly nothing the rest of her life. And we are going to follow now the life of Jesus after seeing some examples of some saints' life. No one can deny here that the birth of Jesus was just an act of humility. I wonder if I would have I was born in the bed of my grandmother's house for the simple reason that a hurricane was passing through Cuba. So that is my excuse. I was born the day of a hurricane, so that's why sometimes I am the way I am. But Jesus was born because of a census. The place where he was born, it was tried because of a census, because I am sure that Mary and Joseph would not have chosen that type of birth. Just like all of you that are parents that are listening to me at this moment, you would not have chosen for your son or your daughter just a stable. So ever since the very first moments, Jesus showed that he had come for the humble, he had come for the poor. In this time and age, sometimes I just wonder how many homeless surround us, how many homeless are around us, how many people sleep on the streets, how they just wander in many corners here in Miami. They just appear in many places. And Jesus was a homeless. Jesus was not only homeless, he was going to show us also in the process of his birth till they return how he was a migrant. So the beginnings of Jesus were really a big proof of the humility that he was going to tell us after to learn from him. When he grew up, any miracle that he would perform, what he would say, do not tell anybody. Just show yourselves to the ones that were religious leaders so that they will declare you clean. Go and don't tell anybody. So he did not want to be known because of what he did. He did not want to be famous. He did not want to shine. He just wanted to do good, just in a very humble way. Remember that one of the things that he told his disciples, do not let your right hand know what your left hand is doing. Just do everything in silence that nobody knows. And also at the multiplication of the bread and fishes, which was a huge miracle, and everybody saw him doing that. What happens at the end? They wanted to make him king. And they wanted to make him king not because they believed in his royal pedigree. They wanted to make him king because they had been fed. And they thought that they had found somebody that would take care of their needs. So therefore, the first thought was just let make him king. And he just walks in the midst of all and disappears. Because he was not meant to be a king of the earth, but just a king of the kingdom of God. And his triumphal entry in Jerusalem, how does he enter? He doesn't enter just in a big carriage or in a mighty horse. He rides in what was a symbol of humility for Israel, a donkey. He rides telling everybody, my kingdom is different. That's what he wanted to tell everybody. My kingdom is not like the kingdoms of this world based on power and ambition and just struggles to see who's the best and who has the most. No, my kingdom is a kingdom for the poor and the humble and the kind and the compassionate and the merciful. So the way that he rides into Jerusalem for his last step of the journey is going to be in the symbol that Israel had at that time for humility among the animals. At the washing of the feet, I think that there is no greater symbol of humility by the symbol that we have Jesus just bending down and washing the feet of all his disciples, including the feet of Judas. I don't know the feelings that at that time neither Judas would have or he would have, but to me, when he bends in front of Judas, must have been the one of the most important parts of his act of humility. I just want to share a little bit that when I became a sister 50 some years ago, many months ago, the sister that was in charge of us would wash our feet, and not only wash our feet, would kiss our feet. We were at that time over 100, and she would go one by one kissing our feet. The impression that I received at that time, because that sister had been my teacher in high school, so I knew her ever since I was 14 years old. So when she bent down to wash my feet and to kiss them, I felt inside of me a little bit of what the apostles might have felt when Jesus bent to kiss their feet because I knew that he was something. He was not the Messiah yet. He had not risen. But they knew that he was somebody special. So to perform that act of humility for them, that was something that never left their hearts. And then throughout his death process, in the midst of all the insults and all the beatings that he got and being disrobed, the way that he was treated from beginning to end, and as Isaiah says, he did not open his mouth. Everything was just in silence. At the time of crucifixion, just words of encouragement and kindness to the one that says, Lord, remember me when you are in your kingdom. Everything that he did at that time, remembering his mother, remembering John the Apostle. This is a journey of humility that Jesus shown us from his birth all the way until his last moments at the cross. And this is the journey that we have to follow. We have to follow in his footsteps because the one that really gives us the example, remember what was at the beginning of these talks, learn from me because I am meek and humble of heart. And he gives us all the lessons. We have there the script. We just have to read it in the Gospels and we just have to try to make that script our own. So the examples that Jesus gives us of humility are something that we are not going to forget in our own living. So let's try for this week, for this month, for all the rest of our lives, every day, just tell him, Jesus, meek and humble of heart, make my heart like unto yours.